Hey everybody, Charles Calhoun, aka the Shade Tree Pro, and then I want to do the conclusion to the video I was doing. My phone got a little bit overheated, and it cut off on me. But as I was talking about, with the top down and the teaching and all those different things, is that as I said, we're at this point to where information is valuable, and the sharing of information is what gets people, to reach certain heights and certain levels. Now, I said a lot of teaching that I see, and like I said, I study a lot of teachers and I listen to what a lot of teachers say. That's the reason that I can make these arguments. I go out and try a lot of things that a lot of teachers talk about. I go out and try them and I put them to the test, and I see exactly the pitfalls, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, and I don't mind speaking on it. Now, one of the things I'm talking about is, like I said, is that the compound pivot of Mike Austin's, and and the gentleman who's helped me do videos over the time, clinics as well. He was the same guy that was behind Mike Austin back in the day. I got a nice photo of Mike Austin on my wall. But the thing is, as I said, sharing that information and getting out there, because I used an example of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that there's a lot of teachers that's on that one level that they can't cross over to that self-actualization, and they know they're sitting back asking themselves, man, what is it? What's missing? What am I not seeing? What am I not understanding? I know that for a fact because I've been there myself. I had to spend years, because sometime when I thought, oh man, I'm close, and realized, man, I was 4 or 5 years away, because I kept feeling something and those feelings kept changing, but the feelings were not real actions. And then once you understand the actions, believe it or not, sometimes those feelings that you had were actually somewhere else, and the action was in another place. I've learned a lot of that dealing with top down. And that's why I said, and if teachers want me to consult with them and help them, maybe understand a few things that they don't know about the golf swing, because one thing I always talk about, I'm definitely an expert in my craft. I know what I'm talking about. I know why I'm talking about it, and I know how to put it together to make it successful, and that's about building those certain types of sequences. And so many people are so stuck up on ground up that the sequences become limited. And I'm telling you the truth. Even like I talked about, the scapula, that's not something that you just feel. That right there is something of an action that you have to know. You have to look at it. You have to study it. You have to put it in your visual cortex. You have to get that thing, locked into the cerebellum, which is basically for more motion, action, athleticism, and all those different things. And those are the things that get you to that next level when you're trying to get your discoveries, in a sense. As I said, I'm an expert at my craft. Go to shadetreepro.com, look, and you'll see my telephone number. Don't be ashamed. Don't let that ego get in the way and think, that you may be too good to ask a question. Look, you can't get nowhere unless you ask questions. If you're stuck on something, ask questions. People may have information. You don't know. Their study might see things a little different than you. So don't be ashamed. Look, I don't have no problem asking questions. I do have a problem when those people who don't ask questions are quick to tell you what you don't know. Now, I'm going to bring the fire to those. But those people who out there, you got those struggling players, you need help. And it says, hey, reach out to your boy Shade Tree. Come ask me the question, because as I said, from chipping, putting, I'm an expert in my field. And 3 decades of doing this, I know what I'm talking about. And I definitely know how to find faults, because again, I created top down to be able to find faults. And when you find the faults, then the fixes are not that difficult. Charles Calhoun, aka the Shade Tree Pro. This is part 2 of that original one. And you know how I say it, baby. Always good golfing.